Hi, my name is Eve. I am a current third year undergraduate student studying BA Archaeology. What I really love about studying archaeology here at Reading is how friendly and welcoming all of the lecturers are, and so engaged in the students' learning and progress. Everyone is so approachable to go to for advice as well as just a friendly chat if you want to. In the department, I really look up to both Professor Hella Eckhart and Amanda Clark, and I've been very lucky to be able to work quite closely with both of them whilst I've been here. Hella I am very fortunate to have as my dissertation supervisor, and she's really great at giving advice and feedback and pushing me to develop my research to make it the really best that it can be. Amanda is extremely welcoming and friendly, and you can so easily go to her for advice, especially about the sort of professional archaeological field. I really admire the work of Lindsay Allison Jones, who has made really great contributions to Romano-British archaeology and the studies of their artefacts, to what they can tell us about the culture and societies of Roman Britain, which is the area that I am really interested in as an archaeologist. She's been a very important part of the research of excavations such as Hadrian's Wall and Coventine as well as having held really prolific positions as the president of the Royal Archaeological Institute, as well as being a fellow of the Society of Antiquaries of London.
My name's Gemma and I study the Archaeology MA. The best thing about studying archaeology at Reading is how friendly and supportive everyone in the department is. Also, as someone who's particularly interested in material culture and Romano-British archaeology, Reading is an amazing place to study because of the research focus of the staff here, as well as the Silchester excavations. Within the archaeology department at Reading, I see Professor Hella Eckhart as a role model. Hella has published extensively on a wide array of topics, particularly focusing on Roman Britain and the Roman provinces and material culture. I particularly think Hella's work on mobility and migration is important because it can help to enrich our understanding of Roman Britain and its diversity. I also think Hella's work on outreach and public engagement is important in the field of archaeology. Within the wider discipline of archaeology, I really admire Elizabeth Froude, who is Associate Professor of Egyptology at the University of Oxford. Not only is her work on non-royals and their self-presentation fascinating, she's also a very driven and inspiring woman. Despite the long-term impact on her health after suffering from sepsis, Liz continues to carry out impressive research, including fieldwork in Egypt. She's also an incredibly supportive teacher, and her enthusiasm for archaeology has had a lasting impact on my own academic interests.
My name is Jennifer Austin, and I am a PhD student at the Department of Archaeology at the University of Reading. I study bioarchaeology with a particular focus on studying health and disease in past populations, otherwise known as paleopathology. Now, what I love about archaeology is that it gives us a glimpse into the past. And in the case of bioarchaeology, we get to look at the skeletons of past populations and see how those populations live. So what got me interested in archaeology in the first place was my initial interest in forensic anthropology. I find looking at the skeleton of an individual to be quite fascinating because not only does it tell us the age of the individual, how they lived, etc., it also tells us how they died in modern cases. Now at Reading, we are very fortunate to have a significant amount of female representation in the department. When it comes to role models, for myself, I find Professor Mary Lewis to be one of my role models because she has been quite instrumental in the development of my career as a paleopathologist and archaeologist, but has also been quite supportive and encouraging throughout my time at Reading. When it comes to female archaeologists outside the department at Reading, I find Dr. Jenna Dittmar at the University of Aberdeen to be a huge inspiration of mine. Not only is she driven and passionate in her research as a paleopathologist, but she also encourages me to pursue research interests both within the UK and internationally. There's also Dr. Keisha Supernant, a Canadian Métis archaeologist at the University of Alberta, whom I admire not only for her enthusiastic approach to archaeology, but also because she is quite approachable to her students. She also has this unique ability to not only utilize her work to understand the past, but she also applies it to modern contexts and issues, which is incredibly important for archaeology today.
My name is Amanda Clark, and I'm an Associate Professor of Archaeology at the University of Reading, where I teach fieldwork and excavation skills to all of our students. I really love what I do. I believe strongly that anybody studying archaeology should spend time on a dig, learning about the raw material of our discipline. And I've loved digging ever since a trowel was first put into my hand in my first year at university. Working at Reading has allowed me to build a fieldwork legacy, a field school, which helps create a unique sense of community within our department and an experience that our students take with them for the rest of their lives. My role models include my very first trench supervisor. She taught me how to use a shovel and how to recognise soil differences, but perhaps most importantly, she taught me how to hold the past in my hand and marvel at it. Another of my role models was my professor at the University of Durham, Dame Rosemary Cramp. She was the first female professor appointed at Durham, and she taught us undergraduates how to look up in the town and down in the countryside, and she always led by example. I always remember her on her excavations shouting "speed on" to all the undergraduates from the top of the photography tower. The women I most admire are all those young women who I have taught over the years at Reading. Women who now run their own digs, women who work with their own archaeology, women who love what they do and in turn are inspiring others to do the same.